Hi, my name is Peter Dudek, and this is a picture of me with my beautiful wife Lisa. And I wanted to make a video to help explain the difference between having a website versus doing internet marketing. Sometimes I get people who want me to help them with their website, and I wanted to have this video available so I could show you how having a website differs from internet marketing. Let's say I want to go somewhere and I have an engine, a beautiful, super powerful engine. Maybe it's a Hemi, maybe it gets 600 horsepower and has a whole bunch of torque and it can really move a vehicle down the road. Well, if I have an engine, that's great, but it's not going to get me anywhere by itself. I would need to have a car, obviously, with wheels and steering and seats and all the good stuff that comes in a car. Plus, I'd need to have a lot of gasoline. So if you have a car, a really nice car and lots of gasoline available, you can really get somewhere. But if you have the world's best engine sitting on a pallet in your shop, you're not going to go anywhere with just that. So internet marketing is so many things, but you need to be focused on internet marketing versus just focusing on your website. So let's talk about some internet marketing fundamentals. There are so many different things that you can apply to the category of internet marketing. There's just an overwhelming number of software tools, social media platforms, different sources of traffic, different ways to do analytics, different ways to do testing and tracking. I mean, it's just seemingly endless how many different things you can do that would qualify as being part of internet marketing. And it's really easy to get overwhelmed by all of the things that need to be done or can be done. Well, what I like to do for myself, and especially when I'm talking to clients and getting them started, is focus on the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule applies in everything in life and especially in internet marketing. So what this means in reference to internet marketing is you want to do the 20% of tasks that will give you 80% of your results. And so the fundamentals that are going to bring you 80% of the results for 20% of the work, that's what I want to focus on in this video. So the first thing I want to talk about that's part of the 20% of things that you should do to get 80% of your results is understand funnels. A marketing funnel or an internet marketing funnel is how money is made online. And just to give you a real simple example, there's this picture here and it shows the 3 different stages of a marketing funnel. Now this is very simplified. There's a lot more stages actually, and there's a lot more things that we could do, but in its simplest form, this is what a funnel looks like. You have leads that come in the top of the funnel that comes from traffic, and the traffic, you send it to a landing page or a squeeze page of some kind, and then from there you funnel them down and they get into the stage where they're going to be qualified and converted into whatever. Usually it's going to be a sale, or maybe you want to convert them into someone who's on your email list, or whatever your conversion goal is. Most cases it's a sale. And this stage 3 is where they actually complete the sale and they have your product or service. So this is a very simple diagram of a funnel. But this is how money is made on the internet. Now, the formula for doing successful internet marketing is very simple as well. Traffic plus conversions. So traffic plus conversions equals money in your pocket. And this is the internet marketing formula. And one of the things that the internet has going for it over other kinds of marketing, such as print, radio, television, whatnot, is you can make data-driven decisions. So a very important part of internet marketing is testing, tracking, and optimizing. And so this allows you to make data-driven decisions so that you can maximize your conversion ratio. And this is the key to success. So what we're talking about, if I go back to the funnel, we see these numbers here. You've got 1,000 people coming into the top of the funnel from whichever traffic sources you're using. And out of that 1,000 leads, people, maybe you have 100 of them who get on your email list. And then after you send them some emails, you have 10 of them become customers. So the idea of making data-driven decisions to maximize your conversion ratio is to get, instead of 10 customers out of these 100 prospects, maybe we get 11 customers or 15 or 20. We want to increase this ratio of customers to leads and prospects. And then the way to do that is with testing, tracking, and optimizing. So let me give you an example of what this might look like. I'm going to show you a page in one of my Google AdWords accounts and show you what I mean. So let's see, I'm going to hide this. Okay, here we go. So here is I don't know if you can see this. This is one of my campaigns for one of my products for head lice. And what I'm talking about in testing and tracking and optimizing, I'm testing two different ads against each other here. And you can see the headline, how to get rid of head lice, 3 proven steps. Then this ad is exactly the same, how to get rid of head lice, 3 proven steps. And then this paragraph down here and this one here are essentially the same. There's only one word different, it's head, the word head. But what's really different about these two ads is the domain name I'm sending people to. In this ad, I'm sending people to scabiesauthority.org. In this ad, I'm sending people to licekiller.com. That's the main difference between these two ads. Well, look over here. My goal here is to have as many people click on my ad as possible and bring them to my website so that I have a chance to get their email address, or more importantly, to get a sale. So you can see my click-through ratio is, with this ad, it's 15%, 15.77%. So I had 222 people see my ad, at least it showed up on the page, and then I had 35 of those 222 actually click this ad and come to this website. Now on this ad, I had 1,286 people be shown my ad, and only 41 people clicked this ad. So the click-through rate on this ad, 3.19%. So for these two ads that are very, very similar, the main difference being just the domain name I'm sending them to, there was a dramatic difference in my conversion rate or my click-through rate. So I hope this helps you see how testing and tracking and optimizing is very important. So what I would do in this case is I would pause this ad and try something else. Maybe I would try another ad sending them to this domain, but maybe try a different headline and see if I could come up with a different headline that worked better. So that's what I mean by testing, tracking, and optimizing. And let me show you another example. You can test and track and optimize anything. In the case I just showed you, I was testing and tracking ads and optimizing the click-through rate of my ads. Well, what if I want to see, which landing page that I send people to get a better success rate? So let's take a look at this here. So I've got in this example, I'm going to show you. I'm using an example of Cajun cooking, and so here's a landing page that is trying to get people's email address. So from an ad, I would send people to this page, and I'm trying to get them to enter their email address here. And what I'm doing is I'm offering them an ethical bribe. I'm offering them the best Cajun recipe for chicken in exchange for their email address. So if they enter the email address here and click this button, then they'll be on my list. Now, in order to test a different version of this and sending some of the people to a different page so I can see which one works better, just like in my ad, here's another landing page that's very similar. If it loads up, there we go. Okay, so here's a different version of that landing page. So you can see this is dramatically different. Instead of having just the photograph of the chicken with text overlaid onto the chicken, I have this, which has a white square with the words inside the square, so it's a lot more legible. So this would be a test that I could do, and I could track the results and optimize. And I need to tell you that you can't usually know in advance how it's going to work out. Maybe this one would be the best one to get the most people to put in their name and email, or maybe this one would work better. I have no way of knowing without testing. But the beauty of internet marketing is that you can test and keep track of things, and you can make data-driven decisions. So you see hard numbers. You send so many people to some sort of ad or some sort of web page, and then you send the other half of the traffic to a different ad or a different web page, and you see which one wins. Whichever one wins, that's the one you keep, and then you make another one, and you keep trying to beat your winner until you come up with a new winner. And by doing it this way, using data to make your decisions rather than just guessing, you can maximize your conversion ratio. And this is the key to success. And this is something that is very, very difficult to do with other kinds of advertising and marketing. So let's go on to the next subject I wanted to talk about. And let's talk about the traffic. The traffic is what brings you people into your funnel in the first place. And so there's all different kinds of traffic, but you can separate them into two basic categories: free traffic and paid traffic. So everybody wants to have the free traffic. They want to do SEO, search engine optimization, and get on the first page of Google and get a bunch of free traffic from Google. Well, that's a nice thing to think about, but it almost never happens. And besides that, excuse me, it's not actually free, because you're going to spend a lot of time and or money to get onto the first page of Google for the free traffic. So in reality, all traffic is paid traffic, because getting free traffic from Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever, it does take money to get into that position. But just for the sake of argument, let's take a look at a couple of examples. So it is possible to use YouTube to get some traffic and for free, and that's by doing SEO to a video on YouTube. And a lot of people use YouTube as a search engine, and they're looking for all kinds of things on YouTube, how to do this or that. They're looking for recipes, they're looking for all kinds of stuff. So in this example, I made a video for this keyword here: best Cajun seasoning for chicken. Okay, and this is the first page of YouTube's search results for this search term. And the video I made just a couple hours ago, uploaded it 3 hours ago. You can see I'm on page 1 already, just after 3 hours of making the video. So you can get some free traffic if you can get a video made and ranked on the first page of YouTube. Now, it's best to be at the top, and there's all kinds of things you can do to get on the top of YouTube searches, but I'm not going to go through all of that right now. That would take hours and hours to talk about that. But I just wanted to do a quick and dirty example to show you that you can get on the first page of Google fairly quickly for some very nice keywords if you do some SEO strategies and tactics. So that's free traffic. Now I'm not going to get a lot of traffic uh, based on this ad since it's way down here at the bottom. The further up I go towards the top, doing more and more SEO for that video, the more traffic I'm going to get. And then of course it also depends on how many people are typing in this search phrase, best Cajun seasoning for chicken. It's probably not that many. Anyways, but it does serve to show the point. Now the other thing that I was talking to you about as far as paid traffic, let's look at paid traffic. Now I already showed you an ad in AdWords. Let me show you a different way to look at ads. When you put an ad on Google AdWords, you can have an ad it shows up at the top here, but let's, in this case, since I'm doing a product type of a search, Google identifies that I'm looking for a product, and so they're going to show me ads. These are sponsored listings. These are ads that people are paying money for, and they're showing up at the very, very top of Google for this keyword phrase. And so these are shopping ads, and there's several different kinds of Google AdWords ad types, but for a product you want to be in the shopping ads. And so these people are paying money to be here, but the nice thing about AdWords is you don't pay anything until somebody clicks. You're actually purchasing clicks. So if I were to click this ad right now, I would be costing this advertiser some money. And it depends on how much money he's bidding, plus his quality score. And again, we could talk for hours and hours about how to become number one and get and purchase traffic from Google for the cheapest amount of money possible. But I don't have time to get into all of that right now. But I just wanted to expose you to the idea that you can buy traffic, but you don't have to pay for it until they actually click and come to your site. So that's just a little bit about traffic, and so that you can understand that. Now there's another source of traffic that is very, very interesting. You could depending on your situation, it could be very profitable for you. And what I'm talking about there is Facebook. Now, if you've been to Facebook, you've probably seen the ads all over Facebook. And Facebook has, let's see, let me go to Facebook. Okay, so Facebook, if you are in Facebook, you can see the different ads that they have. And so here's some ads, sponsored listings for different products on Facebook. And see, here's another ad that's in the news feed. So there's different ways you can advertise on Facebook. But the thing that's nice about Facebook is you can target specific audiences. Okay, so starting off here with Facebook Audience Insights. Let me get that down so you can see. This is Facebook's tool, Audience Insights. And so I'm starting off with a base here of a location of the United States. Let's say I have a product that's a Cajun spice, a Cajun seasoning product, and I want to advertise only in the United States for now because I don't want to ship internationally yet. So I'm advertising in the United States. We can see that right here there's between 200 million and 250 million active monthly people in the United States. Well, I don't want to advertise to every single one of those people. I only want to advertise to people who are interested in Cajun cooking. So what I can do is I can limit by age and gender if I wanted to, and by interest. And I'm going to go here, show you what's in here in interest. So if I do Cajun, here's Cajun cuisine. So if I click this interest category, now look at how many people. 1 million to 1.5 million monthly active people. Well, that's a lot less, but it's highly targeted. These are people who are on Facebook, who live in the United States, who are interested in Cajun cuisine. So if I have a Cajun seasoning or a Cajun spice, I might want to advertise to these people. Well, what else is there? Let's see what else there is. Maybe there's something else Cajun. Oops. If I can spell right, if I can spell it. Can't type and record video at the same time. So Cajun recipes. See if anything shows up. Nope, nothing there. What about just recipes? Okay, so here we go. There's 60 million monthly active people who are interested in recipes. Well, that's a lot of people, probably too many. And I don't know if those people would be interested in Cajun recipes or not. But let's see if we can get this down a little bit. What if I want to find people who are really interested in recipes? So let's see. Maybe I would type best recipes. Oops. There it is. Here's one. Best recipes. Okay, so what if I decided that my Cajun seasoning was going to be a prime ingredient in some really awesome recipes for Cajun food, I would want to talk to people who are interested in finding the best recipes. So here's a lot less. It's only 300,000 to 350,000 monthly active people in the United States who are very interested in finding the best recipes. Well, what does that tell me? This tells me that they're probably active home cooks, or they could even be chefs at restaurants and whatnot. But these are people who are probably avid cooks, and so they might be likely targets to purchase my Cajun seasoning. So I hope you can see how this Facebook audience insights can help you target your advertising to people who would be very, very interested. Let's brainstorm another idea. Let's say we wanted to advertise to people who were already interested in a product similar to mine that would be a competition, and I could maybe create an ad, playing against the competition. So in my Cajun Spice example, there's a guy named Emerald on the cooking channel. He's a chef. He's a famous chef. He has a show, and he always talks about his spice that he has, and he's very funny. Whenever he adds his spice to a dish, he says "bam" really loud, and he spices things up with his spice. Well, I can see here there's 350,000, 400,000 monthly active people who are interested in this guy, and so I could target them with a different ad campaign. Say, hey, if you like Emerald's essence of Emerald, maybe you'd be interested in my spice, and so check it out. Why don't you buy some? So this is just a couple examples of how you can use Facebook's audience insights to brainstorm different niche markets that you could create advertising campaigns and target them. Moving on, the next thing, as far as the 80-20 rule is concerned and internet marketing, this is one of the most foundational basic things that you need to think about, and that's building your email marketing list. Email marketing is still the king all these years later after it was invented, and we have all these different, we can have texting, we have Snapchat, we have all kinds of social media, status updates, Twitter, all this stuff. All of those things have come into being after email marketing, but email marketing is still king, and you're going to get the best results if you have a list and you can target them in your emails. And let me explain a little bit about why. This goes into this funnel. So in order to get people into the funnel, you're going to have to purchase traffic more than likely. Even if you get free traffic, it's not going to be enough traffic unless you get really, really lucky, or you spend a whole bunch of money on getting to the first page of Google for the free traffic in a competitive term. So the most prudent thing to do is to think about purchasing your traffic. So you buy traffic, and out of this traffic is going to come prospects. Well, you're going to want to put these people into an email list, because once you put them into an email list, you can send them back through the funnel again for free, because once they're on your email list, you can generate traffic by sending emails to your list. And that cycles them through the funnel over and over and over until they become customers. So having an email list is a way to buy your traffic and have it keep on coming. Every time you send an email, you are getting traffic, and you don't have to spend any extra money to get that traffic. You already bought the email lists by getting them on your list through your original campaigns. So it's building your list of email addresses of people who are interested in your product or in your niche. This becomes your most valuable asset, because these are people who will give you money, and all you have to do is send them emails. And that is by far a staunch member of the 20% of things to do that are going to give you 80% of your results. So let's drill down a little bit more before I end this video, and a couple more things. Campaigns. You can have lots of different campaigns. So for example, in this Cajun Spice example I'm using, I could have different campaigns that are targeting different niche markets. And then in order to target a niche market, it's really important to have a message to market match. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, the example I already gave of people who are interested in Emeril Lagasse, I would create a campaign that was focused around him. And I might say, hey, are you a fan of Emeril, and do you like Cajun cooking? And you might be interested in this new product. And so that would be a campaign focusing on Emeril and people who are his fans. That's a niche market. What's another niche market? Well, maybe there's a niche market of chefs who work in Creole Cajun restaurants. So that's obviously going to be a small market, but they'd be highly valuable, highly motivated to purchase my product, because that's what they do for a living. They cook food. And so I would have a different message to chefs. I wouldn't be talking about Emeril at all. I'd be talking about how awesome my product was, and that they should give it a try and see if that improves their recipes. So you get the idea, though. There's all different kinds of niche markets that you can identify in your big market, and you want to have a message to market match for each one of your niches that you go after in each campaign that you create. Now let's talk about social proof. Social proof is super important when you're doing your internet marketing. The obvious thing is testimonials. If you have real testimonials, especially if they're on video, we like people who buy things online like to see that somebody else has gone before them and purchased it and they really like it. And so having a testimonial from someone who says, my Cajun spice is the best things they've ever tasted, that's going to help me make more sales with my new prospects. Now, another kind of social proof would be expert interviews. Let's say, for example, I was able to get my product into some restaurants, and I could make a video and interview the chefs about why they like my product. And so those types of expert interviews are even more powerful than normal people testimonials. And there's another thing that you can do. I call it the Pepsi Challenge social proof. And you've seen these on television. Pepsi versus Coke, Mac versus PC. There's all different kinds of grocery store challenges and blind taste tests. You'll see someone standing at a table, behind a table, and they've got A and B, and there's a cup in front of A and a cup in front of B, and they either taste a drink or taste whatever the sample is from A, and they taste the sample of B, and then they decide which one they like the best, and then the person lifts up the A and the B cards to reveal the brand that they liked best based on their blind tasting. So if I were going to do this for my Cajun thing, maybe I might make a deal with a grocery store, or maybe I could do it in a mall or something, and I would have a table and I'd have a taste test. It would be the Cajun seasoning challenge, and I'd make a video of the people's honest reactions to the tasting and the reveal when they found out which product they like the best. And so assuming they liked mine better than Emerald Lagasse's Essence, that would be a super valuable social proof where I could run up against a famous person and a famous brand, and I could show with videos of how average ordinary people in a blind taste test prefer my spice over Emerald spice. And so that would be a very good social proof video I could put on my website. So I hope this all helps you to understand about the difference between having a website and just focusing on your website only versus internet marketing. Internet marketing, and I've just scratched the surface here, but I did want to get you, up to speed on what are the most important things you should be doing for your internet marketing. Now, I do consulting, and I do work, and I do take on private clients, and I have 3 ways that you can work with me if you're interested. You can think of me as a worker, where I would actually do things for you, simple things like fix your website. I do that. Or you could hire me as a consultant. Let's say maybe you have an in-house person who does your website for you, but I would be able to identify things about your website that could be improved to help you set up your testing and tracking and optimizing, and give you ideas of how you could improve your conversion ratio and increase your sales, and let you and your team go ahead and do the actual work. Or if you wanted me to really jump in with both feet, you could hire me as a consultant, where I would be doing actual work too. I'd be working, doing consulting, and for that I would basically become a partner with you, and we would do some kind of a rev share deal. So it would be an upfront consultant fee plus a rev share on the back end. And the nice thing about this option is if you hire me as a consultant and we do the rev share deal, I'm going to be a lot more interested in helping you make as much money as fast as possible with this deal, because I would make my rev share based on my performance. So the better I do, the more money I make for you, the more money I make for myself. So this is the best option, is to hire me as a consultant to do that kind of stuff, plus do some work for you, and on a limited time get a rev share. Now I know you probably don't want me to have me as a partner for life, and that's not my intention to take over or anything. But in order to make this a profitable venture for both of us, my rev share usually goes for 18 months, and that gives me a lot of incentive to get you to a high level of earning as fast as possible, so that I can maximize my rev share before the 18 months runs out. So anyway, I hope this all was very interesting to you, and it helps you to decide if you'd like to hire me or not. And if not, I wish you well, and I hope this helped you. And if you do want to hire me to help you as a worker, or as just a consultant, or as a very involved consultant with the rev share deal, then just get in touch with me.